My name is Karen Che, and in the year 2000, I founded International Bridges to Justice. IBJ is dedicated to ensuring that every man, every woman, every child throughout the world has effective defense counsel. Most countries, almost virtually every country in the world, has passed new laws saying you have a right to a lawyer, you have a right not to be tortured. But unfortunately, in even many of these countries, people are arbitrarily detained and tortured on a daily basis.
Lawyer and public defender Karen Che first came face to face with torture in Cambodia in the mid-90s. She had come to help rebuild a legal system that was utterly decimated by the reign of terror of the Khmer Rouge.
Over a decade ago, 1994, when I first arrived in Cambodia, there were less than 10 attorneys in the country. At that time, there were laws on the books that said you have a right to a lawyer, you have a right not to be tortured. But practically everyone who came through that prison system, practically everyone I met in prison said, yes, I was tortured.
With Cambodia's legal system in tatters, torture was still viewed as the quickest, cheapest way for police to extract a confession from the accused, guilty or not. Former police official Oak Van Dat regularly witnessed the use of torture.
Our superiors demanded a confession from every suspect who was brought in. The only way we knew how to get it was to use force and torture the suspect until they confessed.
To many throughout the world, it seemed a hopeless situation. But Karen Che was convinced that Cambodia was ripe for change. From her experience as a public defender, Karen knew that people who have effective legal counsel are far less likely to be tortured. And so she set out to train as many public defenders as possible.
So people often ask us, International Bridges to Justice has justice makers and fellows in 37 different countries. How is it that you can have a common mission and all work in solidarity together? One of the examples that I think about often is once being on a Skype call and hearing our Burundi fellow say, hey, this is really quite a challenge, building the justice system so that people cannot be tortured. How do we provide early access to counsel so that we can support everyday citizens from being tortured by the police? And reflecting on the fact that there were, at the time, less than 100 lawyers in Burundi. And I remember the Skype call very clearly because on that day, Oak Van Dat, our defender from Cambodia, said, Asdf, I know, very, very challenging and difficult in Burundi. I know this, I can see this. And I started in Cambodia, and when I started, we did have less than 10 attorneys in the country, but we have slowly built the infrastructure so that there is access to justice, there is access to counsel, and you can do it too.
Today, Oak Van Dat is a trained public defender working with IBJ to create an entirely new way of doing things.
IBJ plays a vital role in Cambodian society. It trains lawyers to represent clients, teaches police how to seek evidence, and also encourages Cambodians to demand that their rights be respected.
Inspired by what it has been able to accomplish in Cambodia, IBJ is now training and supporting public defenders around the world.
What is exciting about the prophetic imagination of the defenders and the fellows on the ground is that they are able to look very realistically at the problem as the problem. And by seeing that there is a huge window of opportunity to actually prevent torture through access to justice, by systematically providing justice, they are building step by step, individually in their countries, and also supporting each other across foreign boundaries, across what people think is cultures, in order to make this happen.
My vision is to set up a major national criminal defense resource center where every lawyer should be interested in accessing legal materials, and later on, maybe as in the near future, open up the same resource center in different provinces, and most probably this is my wish, in the region, Congo, Uganda, Kenya, where the program is not yet reached.
In Indian society, torture is prevalent everywhere, but in law it is forbidden. But even if it is forbidden, it is being taken place everywhere around the country.
Justice Maker is a community of people who are engaged in providing legal assistance to vulnerable people. It's their hope, especially here in developing country, where people are in impossibility of affording a lawyer.
In China, a country striving to improve its legal system, IBJ has established permanent resource centers and trained thousands of defenders who are working to bring justice and human rights to China's 1.3 billion citizens.
In China, we did one advisement on rights campaign, and we had 3,000 members of the Youth Communist League, Chinese Youth Communist League. We put up a poster that it went from 1,000 copies to 10,000 copies to 360,000 copies to over 500,000, and we have had campaigns for the last few years in every single province in China.
One of the most encouraging signs for IBJ has been how genuinely eager governments in Asia, Africa, and Latin America have been to work with IBJ to adopt the organization's blueprint for building more humane justice systems. Equally encouraging is the growing number of public defenders and law firms joining IBJ's ranks.
One of the most inspiring things about what they and what we are doing together is that we do believe that it is possible, not impossible, but possible to end investigative torture in our lifetime by providing access to justice. And this is possible not by seeing as one group of people as the enemy, the government as the enemy, a corporate as an enemy, or anyone really necessarily as an enemy, not even the police who are actually doing the torturing as an enemy, but really looking to see the problem as the enemy, if there is one, and seeing how we can work together in solidarity with everybody who will work together with us. And International Bridges of Justice choosing to work in solidarity with people on the ground who believe that we can see a solution to this issue and tackle it step by step.
The authorities have started, along with the International Bridges to Justice, by sharing their common vision. And they have realized that this is an important part of their responsibilities.
Criminals or suspected criminals make most of the population in prisons, and that's a very big fact that they need to be represented.
This day and age isn't about the extraordinary. It's not about the impossible. It's about building the simple building blocks and being committed to just doing the everyday grunge work of putting the system in place so that we can really create a culture where the rule of law is in the fabric of society.